Well, hello and welcome to the most unusual tarot reading on the internet, bar none. Unusual because it is grounded in reality, in the current social politics of the moment, if you can call that a reality, I suppose. That's up for debate. Anyway, because we add in numerology with astrology to the mix with tarot, it's not fake, it's not fairy tale. We combine energy and data to open up your mind, to open up the reading. Now, the central focus, without a doubt, without question, is definitely tarot. The frequency of the moment. But, again, it's grounded in the political social ether. There are no shortcuts, no cosmic imagery. Simply the foundation and the focus in effect at this moment in history. This is why it's important. After 20 years of doing tarot, I've discovered, from my point of view, that tarot predicts nothing. However, it is the science of potential. There's a frequency in the tarot. Frequency is energy. Energy is potential. And it's how the frequency reacts with you. Now, the numerology and the astrology, both of which I've done for over 50 years, can't believe I'm saying that. Anyway, they are the ones that supply the foundation to the tarot energy. Think of it as you have a table set, a beautiful table set for a fabulous meal. That's the numerology and astrology. The tarot is the meal itself. So where you happen to be in this cosmic stew at the moment impacts your tarot energy. The theme for today's tarot reading, by the way, is minute by minute. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Clock is always moving, always moving. That is one of the two things that you can count on in life. Ben Franklin said, death and taxes. Well, yeah, taxes seem to be unavoidable, and death certainly is unavoidable. Don't know anybody who got out of here alive. So that's inevitable. We're moving towards our end, and nothing can stop. If you lose a minute now, you don't ever get that minute back. I don't care how rich you are. Don't make any difference. You can't buy time. Tick-tock, tick-tock, minute by minute. The goal is to take that energy, to tune into that frequency, manifest the future where you have some kind of influence. You're not a victim, you're a creator of your own life in a very significant way, allowing for that fate, that river of fate to move you, and then the tarot kind of tells you what to do where you're at. If manifesting is the kryptonite we have, then numerology and astrology are the waves of fate that we guide our lives with. Using tarot as the ultimate destination for the reading, with the guidance of numerology and astrology, you see the big picture in color, full color. It's like a 1930s movie versus a movie of today. You get the beautiful sound, you get the beautiful color, you get the great imaging. I think you get better stories in the 1930s, but that's a discussion for another day. You see the big picture, and that gives you the power. So, with that said, we now journey to the tarot frequency, which is opening to you at this moment. Minute by minute. Tick-tock, tick-tock. That's the theme. So with that in mind, let's go to something I call astrologic. Karmic deja vu. I said just a bit ago that numerology and astrology are the science of cycles. Within that context, they kind of predict, but it's really not predicting in the strictest sense of the word. For example, you know the next season coming up here in the Northern Hemisphere is fall. Okay? For the people in the Southern Hemisphere, it's spring. You know this already. We're not there yet, but you know that. Is that predicting? No, it's knowing a cycle. And so that's the value of numerology and astrology, which is why I do this. And for this year, we have Saturn in Aries. That is not a friendly place for Saturn. Aries wants independence. Aries is very energetic, very me-oriented. Saturn, that's the great discipliner. That's the great motivator. That's the great maturity card in the zodiac. And Saturn, because of that, is the cosmic clock. Why do I say that? Thing called the Saturn return. If you're familiar with astrology at all, you already know about the Saturn return. Every about 29, 30 years, give or take, Saturn comes back to the same spot it was the day you were born. So, at 29 or 30, look at what people go through. They start to kind of grow up or determine what their own ambition is. Some people get married, some people get divorced, some people start to have children, some people decide they're not going to have any children at all. Some people go to a new job, a new career, or whatever. Major decisions right around 30, give or take. 30 years later, the next time Saturn comes to that spot, now you're 60. Now you're thinking, I'm going to retire. I'm getting older. What am I going to do as an old person? And then, of course, the next time would be 90, but very few people make it to 90. But I'm sure there is some similar kind of situation. It may be just at 90 you go, holy shit, how am I even here? And you're not. Any day that you get from 90 on, I would assume it's just a blessing. You just go, oh, wow, great. I made it another day. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but I made it another day. Saturn is the great teacher, the great discipliner, the great maturity maker, the cosmic clock. So I decided, just for the kicks, because I told you that history repeats, the power of numerology and astrology is the cyclical understanding. 2025 right now. Let's go back 30 years. I'm kind of rounding things off. They're not exactly exact for astrology, but you get the idea. 2025, you go back 30 years, that's 1995. What happened that year? Windows 95 became public. Toy Story, the first movie to be completely computer generated, came out. And we had the World Trade Organization, which opened up the doors for the fiasco we're in right now. This, I think, opened the door as much as anything else to the bankers of the world deciding that they were going to finally take control. Of course, we had the joke of Windows 95. Toy Story was probably the most interesting. And look, Toy Story was completely computer generated. Look what we're doing with the computers today. Huh? AI? So from 1995, we go back to 1965. Vietnam heats up, really gets kicking. Voting Rights Act is packed. We have riots in Watts, L.A. Big changing times. 1935, 30 years past that, Nazi Germany begins to gather. We begin to collect Social Security. There's a whole movement in that direction. And 1905 is where I'll stop. There was the Russian Revolution. Einstein came up with the theory of relativity, E equals mc squared. And really interestingly, Alberta and Saskatchewan joined Canada. Now they're thinking of leaving. Tick-tock, tick-tock, minute by minute. That's what Saturn brings. It brings a realization. It brings a maturity. It brings a holy shit moment. And as you can see from that list, there's some pretty big moments on it. So we got an idea. Let's move on to the meme for today. Again, the meme doesn't necessarily have to connect with the message of the day. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Today, I just wanted to make a point that the price of authenticity, of being the real you, is being disliked. Look how many people over the past 5 years have been people who did not vax, said it was no good, it was terrible, you shouldn't do it, you should think for yourself. And then all the morons who went, oh, I got to get a shot, I got to get a shot, and they're all sorry about it. And all the scientific evidence coming out right now tells you that the more of those vaxes that you took, the more likely it is that you're going to die early. And between now and then, you're going to suffer. Heart problems, brain problems, breathing problems, nerve problems. Doesn't make any difference. It's been connected 1,000% clean. So now that you know the truth, the people who did not vax, you're never going to say thank you. You're never going to say anything to them because you are uncomfortable with being a dumbass. So we go to the second part of this. A strange part of adulthood is that no one talks about it at all. We're homesick for a place and time that no longer exists. Maybe never did. Tick-tock, tick-tock, Saturn. We constantly go back to a time that we recreate in our minds. But we do that for the most part for some sort of security and stability. That's very Saturnian. So the message in the meme for today is be who you are. Be the best you can be. Be the real you. Don't worry about what people are going to say, because frankly, they don't even know what the hell they stand for. So there you go. Let's move on to the tarot. First card, Knight of Swords. Swords are truth. Swords are information. Swords are data. And here we have a person who has all kinds of data. In fact, 8 swords, 8 pieces of data around them, and they can't see them. They're blindfolded, hands tied behind the back. You see that they can get away. And the clue in the card is the stream. That's emotion. That's intuition. If they simply paid attention to that little voice inside of their head, they would not be in this position. But they're restricting themselves. They have limiting beliefs. They bought the bullshit that you've been told. You never question it. You never give it a second thought. You just go, oh yeah, okie dokie. Well, and then, of course, you end up in this kind of situation. Again, that goes back to the idea of you being the best you can be. Don't expect people to follow you. You have to lead your own way. You have to take your own path. Next card is the Seven of Pentacles. Pentacles are things that we value. And unfortunately, in society, we value things. We've been conditioned to value things by people who have the things. So that being the case, what do? Well, you play the game. And you always lose. And you go, what the hell is going on? Well, I'm playing the game. No, you're not. It's their game. They get to change the rules. They do. They lie to you. They cheat. And when you turn your back, they'll steal from you. That's how it really works. 8 of Swords goes, I don't see anything. I don't see anything. I keep losing, but I don't see anything. 7 of Pentacles says, wait a minute. Let me redo this whole thing. Let's reshuffle the deck. I want my true sense of values. I want friendship. I want love. I want affection. I want positivity. I want enthusiasm. I want joy. I want gratitude. I want health. Hey, you know what? How about a little extra time? Well, too bad. Can't get that. So you better make this minute by minute count. But at least the 7 of Pentacles says, you know, I'm tired of being fooled. The 8 of Swords stuff, I'm lying to myself. I'm going to start looking at my own set of values and figuring out what the hell's going on. And the reason why you need to do this is because of the next card. 4 of Wands, the 11-11 card. Everybody goes, oh, isn't that wonderful? The 11-11 card, happiness and joy and happiness and joy. Well, it talks about harmony. It talks about stability. It talks about partnership. It talks about reconnection. Okay? So if you do the 8 of Swords stuff, if you decide I'm going to take the blindfolds off, I'm going to quit working against myself, I'm going to pay attention to my own value system as the 7 of Pentacles, I can get to the 4 of Wands. Is it going to be a perfect life? No. Life is not that at all. Never has been. But you can have a life where you do have stability. You do have partnership. The very things that are missing in our lives right now. And we, according to the 8 of Swords, have done it to ourselves. So, that's it for the moment. Time is up. Thank you very much for being here again. I appreciate it more than words can say. I thank you. Because it's nice to know you're here and nice to know that we're working together on this whole project called life. Oh, by the way, please like and subscribe. Every podcaster on the internet right now needs your like and subscribe if you truly like and subscribe. The battle on the internet is underground, underneath, very quiet. They're trying to keep us quiet. If you tell the truth, you're in big trouble. So we need your assistance. Like and subscribe. So that's it for this time around. Thank you. Back again tomorrow with another Manifested Tarot. Between now and the next time you and I get together to do tarot, peace and blessings.